So here we are with little Max, and we're having the first lesson with a girth. So what I don't want to do, I know the horse has been ridden, he's 8 years old, and he came sort of having been ridden. One of the problems that the owner found was that he was, not only was he very, very nervous, but he was quite humpy in canter, little pig roots or something in the canter. But as you can see here, he's very unsure about having the surcingle on at all. His head's really high, he's stepping back. He's really not happy with it. What I don't want to do is pussyfoot around him. Look at his back leg. Can you see the way he's resting, we would say, his left hind? And that's really typical of a horse that isn't actually resting the hind at all. He's actually got it, or he had it, in a position where he is ready to leave. And we often look at that and say, oh, he's quite relaxed because he's resting his hind leg. And just be aware, there's two different, very different angles that horses rest their hind legs at. And I've got something on it on my Can Do Club site. That's a ready to leave angle, and there's a big difference between that and actually a horse resting his hind leg. So don't take that as a sign necessarily. Anyway, so you can see that he's really quite uncomfortable. So I don't want to pussyfoot around him. I don't want to be terribly quiet and whisper and carry on. I want him to be able to cope with it flapping about like this. He's getting better all the time. What's going to happen when I am on, and if he does sort of make a sudden move or something, the first thing I'm going to do, because it's natural instinct and we all do, is clamp my legs around him to hang on. So if he's uncomfortable with things flapping about on him, I'm going to be in trouble. What I don't want to do is I don't want to desensitize him to anything. And that was really good. It fell off and you saw he got a little bit sort of nervous about that. And then he said, oh no, it's all right. You know, I survived, we're okay. It's important also, a horse like this that gets very nervous, they do sometimes freeze. It's quite easy to tell when a horse is frozen. Their head's high like that, and their feet aren't moving, and they get a bit stuck in one position. So it's quite important when you're doing this stuff that you do keep moving their feet. Maybe you get them to turn and face you, or maybe, you know, they're going to move anyway. If they're moving by themselves, then that's okay, as long as they're not moving too much, you're not frightening them. I'm breaking down everything I can for him. So at the moment I'm breaking down actually doing it up. Sometimes this bit here where the person bends down and touches the stomach, sometimes it's that frightens the horse. So you got to make sure that he's okay with each step before you actually girth it up. What I don't want to do, and especially with these surcingles, which have rather nasty buckles and they're quite difficult to do up, I want to do it up the first time tight enough so that if I've made a mistake, if I've gone too far too fast and he leaves, which I really hope he doesn't, because I really hope that I haven't made a mistake, but if he does, it needs to be tight enough that it's not going to slide back and then be around his flank, because then I'm in terrible trouble. You know, if it just falls off him and I haven't done it up, then it's fine. If I have done it up and I've done it up tight and it doesn't move, then also it's fine. You can see I've got him on a lead rein. I certainly don't want to let him go. If I do it up and let him go and I've gone too far too fast and he goes off bucking, he might easily hurt himself by kicking the rail. And I don't really think it matters much whether I hit him over the head with a 2x4 or he runs off and kicks the rail and hurts his leg. It's the same thing. The horse is still getting hurt in my care, and I do everything I can to ensure that the horse never gets hurt when he's with me, and to ensure that everything in training, whether he's on the end of the lead or whether he's trotting around the round pen by himself, is safe.